Welcome to the Music Round Table with your hosts,
Clint,
Lyle,
Vicky,
and me, Kim, where the only opinions that matter is our own. And go!
and go.
What are we talking about?
So bands, well, okay.
How'd this come up? This came up
because we
Yeah.
were thinking about going to see Queensryche.
Yeah.
Now, they only have 2 original members. Mm-hmm. So that's the guitar player and the bass player. So the singer's gone, the other guitar player's gone, and the drummer is gone.
Yeah.
So basically what we're talking about is...
Do we go or do we not?
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
bands with, I guess, not original
members. Are they actually the band anymore?
Yeah.
Is it worth paying what
at
they
what
want?
point in time does it become a tribute band?
And
Yes.
and is it worth seeing depending on, because you're not going to see the band you are thinking of. So this came up because Clinton and Lyle had been talking about going to see it, but they're like, oh, I don't know. And so then last night when you guys were on the phone, I was like, oh, I got an idea. We need to talk about this and let the fan base decide if you guys are going to go to Queensryche or not.
Because I have seen Queensryche.
The original band?
No.
Wasn't original then either?
No, because Chris DeGarmo had already left at that time. But Jeff Tate was still singing and Scott Rockenfield was still drumming.
Okay, so then when you think of Queensryche, do you think Jeff Tate automatically? Or do you think, have you guys listened to it with this recent singer, 2012, I guess is what it says when he started?
I have. I've heard some of the songs.
Because this was, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I just had it. So he started in 2012,
Yeah.
Todd Latour.
Yeah.
So
He's a good singer, don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's a different edge compared to Jeff Tate.
Right.
But we grew up listening to
Well, it was the Empire album.
Empire album and then all the other albums beforehand. So you're kind of have that style.
Stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It gets difficult because, obviously, prior to the Empire album was the Mindcrime album, and the dissolution of Queensryche was a big lawsuit and everything like that. Mm-hmm. In part of the settlement from it is Jeff Tate can no longer go Jeff Tate of Queensryche, but he has the intellectual property of Mindcrime, so he is allowed to play that album in its entirety. So on the flip side, Queensryche can do everything else
but Mindcrime.
But the Mindcrime album. So now you got to ask, what is your draw? Now, we came into it on the Empire album. We grew to appreciate the Mindcrime album, but the Empire album is what brought us to Queensryche.
So they would be singing some of those songs.
Those songs, which really propelled them to stardom, like superstardom or whatever, is what they should be able to play. But now you're mentioning they're going to do older stuff.
Yeah, they're doing stuff off the first 2 albums. So
so then...
like Rage
So
Forward and then I forget the other one.
So then it would be kind of like you guys seeing the band really for what it's worth, something that you didn't even listen to anyways. So it doesn't matter that they're different then, maybe, in that sense?
Yes and no.
It's tough.
Well, it is tough because when I saw Foreigner, there's no original members either for that.
So it's not Foreigner.
No, but
They're just
Kelly
used to
Hansen
play
at the
their
time,
songs.
he'd been singing since the early 2000s. So,
Oh, okay.
but that was...
It's
yeah,
a weird
it was-
way the way it
yeah.
works out on a lot of these bands. So you have your original members and they're in there, and all of a sudden, obviously, members start coming out. Well, as members come out, new members come in.
And at some point,
So,
all the old members are gone.
At some point in time, these new members, they're carrying on. They're the band. They are part of the band, and away they go. But at some point in time, pretty much every monkey's pulled out, and it's all new players.
That's what I
Look
don't
at
know.
Bon Jovi.
I was actually
Yeah.
just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sam Bora's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alec John Such
Such
was out.
passed away.
Yeah, well, he was out
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
So there's one, Def Leppard. There's only 3 original members. The guitar players were never around for the first couple albums.
Yeah.
And
But
Campbell
then
came in.
I think still for me, it's like if the singer's still there, I'm good.
Well, what about bands that have, their lead singers have left, but there's still other members that had other responsibilities, like Phil Collins, for example, Genesis.
Right. Yeah, that's
he was
true.
the drummer, and then he moved up to vocalist
And when Peter Gabriel left.
after
Yeah,
Peter Gabriel
that's
left.
right.
Yeah, And then same thing
Yeah.
with like No Doubt. Gwen Stefani
Yeah.
became the lead singer after.
Yeah, it happened with
Yeah.
a lot of them.
So are they still the same band though?
Yeah, see, I don't know. That's,
Well,
that's just
it's
it.
If you know them beforehand. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just it. Is you got to look at several things on that factor because like Iron Maiden is another one. They had a lead singer and they really went and they actually had a huge following. But it's when Bruce Dickens took over is where they really hit like you know the limelight and stuff like this. So like, which one do you actually go
See, in
with?
Genesis, I only knew Genesis with Phil Collins.
Same.
So that to me is Genesis.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of it with if Peter Gabriel had went back and went on tour with Genesis. I'd be like, what the hell is this?
Right.
But
Right.
an interesting thing going further back would have been the Yardbirds, is because Yardbirds had this like revolving door
For guitar players,
of
yeah.
guitar players and stuff like this, and eventually, what was the Yardbirds obviously transformed. Eventually, actually became Led Zeppelin.
They came to the
Right.
New Yardbirds first.
Yeah,
to satisfy the
The contract.
contract.
Right.
And then
Became
Page
Led
formed
Zeppelin.
Led
But see,
Zeppelin.
that makes sense, though. They've changed the name because they've changed the band.
So at what point do you consider, like, how do you classify a band? Like, it's with like, is the lead singer, like if like Bon Jovi were to change singers?
Yeah, that'd be a no for
But-
me. I
right?
think it depends on how long you've listened to them, or do you know what? I don't know. Like, that's
Like,
really
I know I'm not
tough.
articulating my
don't
question
s-
very well, but I'm just like,
No,
like if you,
if Joel Elliott left Def Leppard,
Right. Is it Def Leppard
yeah, and
anymore?
if you had somebody else come in, like how do you
I couldn't
determine
do it.
whether a band is a tribute band or a new band or an old band? Like how do you
Yeah. How do you
how to
decipher?
decide? Like is it
Yeah.
because of the lead singer or is it because of the guitar
guitarist
players
or the drummer?
Like who?
Who makes it up for you? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess that's what it comes down
Well,
to, right?
see, this coming from Vicky becomes the ultimate question because ultimately we lost Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
Queen is your favorite band. Obviously, it's Queen with Adam Lambert
Or whoever, yeah.
whoever they've got. Obviously, you're still going to see it because you want to see Queen. You want
Yeah.
to experience that.
Yeah.
Well, because it's the songs. You like the songs,
But
but
the
it's still not
reality,
Freddie Mercury.
the reality
reality
is
is
Freddie
it's-
is not there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to me, it's not Queen. It's Queen's songs being played by Queen members, but it's not Queen with
Well,
Freddie Mercury.
like
right?
I like the way that Queen has done it
Yes.
because it is Queen
yes,
with
Yes.
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert
And
or
that's-
whoever
that's
singer
whoever
they
comes
have.
And I
after,
think
yeah.
that's my spernickety about it is like, why aren't they just changing the name or adding to it or adjusting it? And Queen did that because they aren't Queen. They're Queen.
No,
with
because
Adam
Queen was the
Lambert.
four of them, and
Yeah.
now there's only two of them plus Adam
Yeah.
Lambert or plus
Yeah,
whoever in the future.
Exactly. So that's good. That's not so bad, right? So and same with Led Zeppelin becoming Led Zeppelin from being the Yardbirds because they were no longer the Yardbirds, right? They were Led Zeppelin.
Correct.
Makes sense to change the name
yeah.
or to adjust it or
Well,
whatever.
like when John Bonham passed away, they're like, we're
Right.
done.
Yeah. See, and not many of them do that, right?
Just because
Yeah.
I think
Funny because we're talking about that, and what are we going to see?
Jason Bonham,
Jason
the son of John Bonham. But it's more the fact of a drummer of that statute.
Yeah.
It's hard to replace.
Sure.
But even if something happened to Robert Plant, with that vocal, you
Can't do it.
you can't do it. Or can
So
you?
so does it come
Or
down
can
to
you?
the singer then? Does it come down to the voice that you hear on those? Because like Gowan taking over for Styx in Styx, right? So we enjoyed it. Obviously, it's not Styx, but he was singing the stuff. He did a really good job. We like Gowan.
Yeah.
So
See, that
What?
one comes once again gray area, right? Because
we can't answer this damn
No,
question.
we won't be able to answer this.
you can't.
Like so many.
So many. Let's just add another to the list.
It gets enriched because, like in that case, Gowan took over for them, so you
Yes.
get to hear the original Styx songs and stuff, and he does a great job. The bonus of it, because Gowan had his own independent career,
We get to hear
You
Gowan.
get to hear Gowan
Yes.
songs with it. So,
Well,
It's true.
I'm going to toss out
But they're
another,
not Styx,
another
are
band
they?
here then too. Skid Row.
Nope, not Skid Row. Sorry, it's not.
Sebastian,
See,
Sebastian
I
Bach.
can't. No,
He
Sebastian
left.
Bach, right? Like, no.
okay, now there's a lot of controversy on there. There was a lot of
No, I
There's a
know,
lot
but I'm just saying,
behind
like,
on there.
with him leaving,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't know what transpired with the band in between and stuff. And for that, I feel bad.
Yeah.
The reality is a lot of people are like you. Sebastian Bach is the singer. A lot of people turn their backs on him when when they parted ways and stuff like this.
Like I said, I think I would have a different opinion maybe if they changed their name.
And I know,
Why?
I know, if given the opportunity, Sebastian Bach would go back. It's the band that doesn't want him.
Yeah.
Like I said, once again, there's drama in behind the scenes that we
there
don't
is.
know about.
Exactly.
So,
But then do you support that band? Do you like, I think it comes down to, do you like the new version compared to the old version for what it is, better or worse? Like that, I think that's what it comes down to. Do you like
because
the new
there's been a
version?
lot of changes like that in bands that have actually
there's
benefited them.
Yeah, there's the one
hurt them
guy
for sure, right?
for
Yeah.
Journey or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They got the little Filipino. It's
I don't know
Filipino,
if he's.
I think
is he-
so, yeah.
Is it still him?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But he left.
Like
No.
he came in and he does a wonderful job. People can't even tell that it's not Steve Perry, and Steve Perry
But
hasn't
see,
been in it for.
But they were
Yeah.
smart and got someone who sounds like him, right?
Well,
Like,
they did
that's-
have another guy sing for a bit until they found him.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of because I remember there was something about there was more than one.
Well, Arneil's been singing with him
Singer.
for years,
see.
right?
Let's see, who's the singer? Yeah, Arnell since 2007.
Yeah.
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 So it's I don't know. It's one of those. Do you
Or
go?
like how many original members does it have to be to still be considered that original band?
3. No.
It's like how many licks as a Tootsie Roll Pop?
To get to the center of the
Question.
Tootsie
But it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
do you go then to the concert just to hear the music?
Right.
Like,
Give them a chance.
I think-
because even when I saw I swear I'm listening to Foreigner.
Right.
Because you were.
I was, but
Would it be the same if it was the Beatles?
yeah,
That never happened. Like really, I think they had one change in.
yeah, Pete Best and
Okay.
Ringo Starr.
One change, right?
Yeah.
So, but it happened before they were really
They were just starting to.
exactly.
But other than that, there
so
was,
nobody really knew it, right? The change, unless you like look back on the history. So if someone today came up and was like, "I own the catalog now to the Beatles, and I'm going to start a band, and we're going to be called the Beatles,"
No.
no,
No.
Good
Hell
luck.
no.
Good luck. Well, the Rolling Stones.
yeah,
So unfortunately, their drummer passed away.
right.
And then Bill Wyman, of course, we know the controversy with that. So, but it's only been technically there's only 2 original.
Mm-hmm.
Still the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of gray area.
Are we
around a lot.
hypocritical on certain bands?
There's
I think
the
it depends on which
no,
it is.
like
Depends
there's the
on which
example.
it
Depends on
is.
how much you like it.
That's right. I
There's
think so.
the Who.
If you like the old one or the new one,
Yeah.
like you said.
I don't think we're hypocritical. It all comes down to how much you like the music and enjoy the music. Because at the end of the day,
It's about the song.
it's about going to the songs. And I had the luxury of seeing an Iron Maiden. Like Iron Maiden's still around, but I had the luxury of going and seeing an Iron Maiden tribute band with Scott. And it was an interesting, intimate little show at the actual Aldergrove Legion or whatever. It was cool. And then there's interesting little things because the guy who actually played bass for them is from Brazil or whatever, and he had the opportunity to play with the original singer from Iron Maiden. So it kind of comes full circle and stuff.
Okay.
And then like with the ideas of like tribute bands is, they're paying homage to the bands they idolize. And some
Okay, so then when does it become a tribute band if most of the members are gone? Is that what it is, a tribute band?
Or-
are tribute bands just the ones that have the off name, like
Or
Like
you're
the
just-
Liverpool Four.
yeah. Thank you. I was like, I couldn't think of one. Thank you, Vicky.
Or would it be that they're just carrying on the legacy?
Yeah,
Really?
but if they're good too, why are they not warranted to get as much money for tickets? See, now I'm going back into ticket prices. But like what's the difference? What's the difference? If you can sing it well, play it well, just as good as the predecessor.
because like this comes down to the people.
Yeah.
Like some people will pay to see a tribute band and play homage to the songs that they love. Other people are like, no, it has to be the original, has to be the band.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that kind of gets into your thing. When you lose like the singer, is it still the same
Is
band?
it still the same band? Yeah.
But then
Because that's the only thing that's so different is the voice is so different. People can play a guitar, people can play drums, people can play, right?
Yeah,
It's
the music is always going to be the
it's always
same
gonna
from
be
the
same, but
instruments,
100%.
right?
The
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
is going to be different. And I
Yeah.
think that's where I get stuck, is the singer.
But then you also have to look at certain bands is sometimes like the singer is the voice, is the face, and all this. But if you dig deep on some of the bands, it may not be the singer writing the songs or doing everything. And
They're just the voice of it.
They're just the voice of it. So really, once again, any monkey can kind of come in and fill that position. It's really that kind of heart of the band.
But I don't think they
person.
can. That's what I mean. I don't think they can. It's still the voice. That voice is synonymous with that band.
Because that's what you hear all the time
right.
on the radio, on the recording. You get used to hearing that voice.
Person.
Yeah.
And some people have a unique voice.
Absolutely.
The funny thing is, though, there is unique drumming styles. There is
There
unique
is.
guitar
There is,
guitar
but,
styles and stuff.
but the music is still the music, though. That's where the difference is. A voice sounds completely different to another person, right? Like that musical instrument, you're never going to be able to copy.
True. Like there's a lot of guitar players, they sound the
Similar.
same, right?
Or the same, yeah.
But then there's the odd guitar player like Steve Vai.
Yeah, sure. That has
You can tell.
Yes.
100%. You can.
Yeah. So there's a handful that
or
can
you can
do
tell
that,
it's
right?
Jimmy Page, or you can
Yeah.
tell it's Warren DeMartini.
Because they have their own certain
They have
style,
their-
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the singer, it's
their voice.
their voice.
Yeah.
It could be raspy. It could be normal.
You
it
have
could
some
be-
people that sound alike, sure. Like that does happen.
Yep.
But you're not going to be able to find that Queen replacement or
Well, yeah, because that was so unique. His
Yeah, like
his voice was his instrument, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's
Well,
created
I
that
think
sound,
in
right?
that one in particular, it was beyond his voice. Like there will only ever be one Freddie Mercury, and the thing is, it was the voice, but it was also that stage
stage presence.
presence,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
how they interact
Yep.
with the audience. Now, to alternative singers that come in to do it, here's the problem. Once again, people have their naysaying in their heads and stuff like this. They don't necessarily give them that fair chance to develop. So,
That's fair.
it comes down to the fans really on a lot of it.
So yeah, it comes down to, do you want to see or hear those songs that you grew up loving played by or sung by someone else? Are you willing to pay to go see that?
And then the other thing is, like, let's take a case, like I'll take Soundgarden, for instance. So obviously we lost Chris Cornell. All the other members are talented musicians in their own right.
Right.
If they were to continue,
As Soundgarden.
well, even if not without Soundgarden, like maybe they all try a different band and stuff like this, are they going to get the following because they don't have Chris there?
That's
That's
mean,
true.
it's
Question.
well,
Yeah.
like I was just thinking about Bon Jovi and Phil X
Yeah.
and the other guitar player.
Hugh McDonald.
Tim,
That's
No,
bassist.
Oh, bassist.
I forget the other guitar player. But that's not Richie.
It's not Richie.
So there's that unique sound
That's
that
missing.
you're used
Yeah.
to hearing, right? And it's that
See, there comes in another interesting play, like because we're like singer, guitarist, or whatever. In the sense of Richie and John, it was beyond that. Like obviously there was Richie's unique guitar playing and John's voice,
And
but
their
then there was
writing.
also Richie's background vocals that they harmonized quite well together.
Yeah.
And their writing. That's the thing.
That's
so
it,
if
yeah.
you look at Bon Jovi with Richie and previous to that, or the whole time, and then look forward, it's not the same.
it's not the same.
But it's not the same because it's also not the same writing. It's
No.
not the same. So the band itself changed when Richie left, anyways. So I think that one's a little different
Yeah.
compared to some of the other ones.
Like that, okay. There brings up the other interesting point is so obviously Richie left, and now they're in there. There's no one to question John on what he's putting forth. Like,
No, there's still Tico and Dave though, and they're the originals, and they always had a say as well. So
yeah, but I'm just saying in some
there's nobody
situ-
writing with him though.
That's
that
right.
was-
And that's
yeah.
they wrote together.
They wrote together. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's like such a different entity
It is.
compared to who the other one that we're talking about, right?
You could say with Iron Maiden then.
Okay.
So they had an original singer. He left. They had the original drummer. He left.
Okay.
Okay. So
How
then
many piece band is it? I don't even know.
It's 5, but one of the guitar players left. Another guitar player came in. Then the original guitar player. So they've got 3 guitar players: bass player, drummer, singer.
Okay.
Now, the drummer, he can't tour with the band anymore. So they've
Okay.
got a new drummer now. So it's still the original singer though. Still Iron Maiden.
Again, comes down to that
What
voice
you-
that you're
yeah.
used to hearing. Because, like I
Yes.
said, the music itself won't change because you're
No.
playing the same notes.
It's
But
almost
Exactly.
like it's a following,
That too.
really.
Yeah.
Because like when we saw Glass Tiger, there's only 3
Yeah.
original members now.
Yeah, but it's still got the voice.
yeah,
Still has the voice. No, and that's what
Yeah.
it comes.
Alan Frew can never leave.
But that's what it comes down to. Would it be Glass Tiger if Alan Frew retired?
no.
No.
Unless they found somebody else that sounded
Sounds
exactly like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I
that's-
think I can't get past the singer.
Okay, that one would be difficult because once again, beyond his voice, it is
His writing?
his stage presence.
His
Like,
personality.
like,
and
Oh my
everything,
gosh,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't do without
It's
that.
so. I don't know. I've seen some bands where, like, I've seen Foreigner, no
Sure.
original members.
Yeah.
Def Leppard, no original guitar players.
But
they
we still
played-
had Joe Elliott, the voice.
exactly. But they played so long now
Yeah,
with the
without-
band that
yeah.
it's Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 'Cause-
Well, yeah,
know,
like
it's
the thing
stuff
is,
like that,
like
right?
you take, like Death Leppard using the guitarist or whatever. Obviously, it was when the
You've been longer without them than with
yeah,
them.
like
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
Steve Clark passed away and stuff like this. Replacements Vivian Campbell. Vivian Campbell's actually been in the band
longer.
longer
Yeah.
than Steve Clark
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's all.
This isn't an easy question.
No,
No, it's not.
No, it's
and
not.
it's. Like, I would.
Okay.
I want to
here's-
see. I want to see Queensryche.
Yeah.
Just
maybe to not even
maybe
compare.
it's because of.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, it's growing up with them. It's.
Here's the problem. I want to see Queensryche, but I also want to see Jeff Tate.
Oh yeah.
And that's like I've seen him with Jeff Tate, so it'd be kind of cool to see him with the new singer
Yeah.
and see how these songs with him.
Let's say you have to go in that with an open mind,
Yeah.
then,
Very open minded.
and not
Judgy
go
about
in expecting to hear what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it'd be
Right?
different.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? When the
Yeah.
recordings they sang a certain way,
Yeah.
the notes, however
Yeah.
long,
Everything hit a
like
certain
everything
way.
is.
And is it going to affect anything by knowing that there was strife and that there was problems in this band and that the way they treated each other and how things ended with him only getting this and them only getting that? Does that affect how you feel about
It
going
does
to see
affect
the,
the way. It does affect the way I
That you
feel
feel?
about
Yeah.
it. That I'm not gonna lie.
It doesn't
It just
affect
puts
me.
a bad taste in your mouth, kind of like, I don't want to give you my money because you guys are a bunch of jerks.
Kind of idea.
You see it on his face. I was
Yeah.
like, I see it.
It
in
doesn't.
there.
It doesn't affect me that much. It sucks the way it happened,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I just want to go there to hear
So
the music.
is a death in the band different than a fight and people leaving?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, that's like obviously when the death happens, there's nothing you can do about the death. Now the members can choose to move on or pack it up, and we've seen situations where both have happened,
Yeah.
and I think they're justified in both ways.
Yeah.
It's just how you go on, but sometimes it also is affected by which member died and which role they had to play.
So you're saying if he
Yeah.
was the singer, you'd have a problem?
Well, I'm not saying I would have a problem. I am kind of volleying that over to you. It makes sense is that you've lost the singer that is your heart of the band as you see it.
It's not even the heart. It's just that is how you hear the band. It's how they put it out there, really.
Kiss.
Yeah.
They have different singers, right? Like in different songs. So
Well,
that
yeah,
helps
it's
too.
either Paul Stanley or Gene Simmons that
Yeah.
were singing.
Yeah.
But the original members,
Yeah.
you had Ace Frehley and Peter Criss.
Right.
So Peter Criss left.
Yeah.
They bring in Eric Carr.
Yeah.
Ace Frehley shortly left after that.
Right.
And then they brought in
Thale or
No. I forget
Tommy.
his- No. And then
How many changes have they had?
yeah, and then they brought in Bruce Kulick. Okay, so that was banned basically through the 80s. Oh, Vinnie Vincent.
Okay. All I'm thinking right now is I'm screwing this up, and Scott is going to be yelling at this.
I can remember saying so Vinnie Vincent. So they brought in Bruce Kulick because Vinnie Vincent only lasted for one album. Now, that was through the 80s. And then Eric Carr passed away. And then they bring in Eric Singer. And then they carry on for a bit. And then they bring back the original members again.
Right.
So now it's the original 4 again.
Yeah.
Bruce Kulick is gone.
Yeah.
Eric Singer's gone.
Yeah.
And then they come back to all the fighting again.
Of course they have.
And then Eric Singer comes back and Tommy Thale comes in, and that's basically the finish of the band.
Yeah.
Is it still the original band?
The finish of the band. How many farewell tours have I seen now?
Oh yeah, they're not going to be finished yet. They're
Yeah.
still going to get more. But
Their last tour.
That is literally how it's going to be. That is how it's going to be broadcast.
Gonna say
but
that.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
But the singer's still there.
but the singers are still there.
Yeah.
Anybody can play guitar.
That's
to
right.
a point. Anybody can
Play
play drums,
drums.
and it sounded the
same,
same.
or
But if
similar.
you brought in a different bass player,
Yeah.
well, wait a second. That he doesn't play like Gene Simmons.
That's fair.
Like he doesn't sing like Gene, like because there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric Singer's when he sang "Bad," that sounded like the original drummer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Peter Criss. So
Sometimes yes, if you have someone that sounds similar, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
You're a little more accepting of it because you're like, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
well, that's
But is it how it should be? I don't know. It's I think it's just how long have you listened to that band too, right? If you
Yeah.
listen to them for 10 plus, 15 plus years and you expect to hear it a certain way, and then you're like, well, I don't know, like this is a new singer. I don't know if I can do it, right? Unless it's new songs
with that new singer.
with that new singer.
Yeah.
So
Well, look
not
at
playing
Linkin
the old
Park.
stuff. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I can't.
So I've heard.
Well,
her.
we've played it for you.
I've
No.
listened to it.
Okay, then obviously it was real memorable.
But
if you
the new singer, and I'm like, it's not the same.
no, it's different.
She's close, but it's
It's not Chester.
exactly
You can't.
Yeah,
like
that was-
there's a lot of artists like there's Alice in Chains who's come
Right.
back, but it's,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
they did it in such a nice way.
Yeah.
Like they spoke to the family and they were like, we really want to get back out there. We want to do this, right? Like they had done the tribute concert and all that kind of stuff. And like they did it in such a nice
And
way.
it took them a long time.
It took them a long time.
but then you get Nirvana.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
He was done.
Yeah.
Then he went on. The drummer went on in Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. Yeah.
So respect him for that.
Yeah.
That they just disbanded,
disbanded the band.
That was it.
And I mean, I hate to be that person, but it's almost like that maybe should be the way it is. Start new.
It sounds stupid. It actually makes your catalog more valuable.
It does.
If you do that, because you've literally cemented it. That's it. This is done.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
move
Let's
forward.
move forward and do
Yeah.
something else.
And the problem is it's hard to do that. Some artists, it works. Like we'll take the Beatles. Like Paul McCartney had the Wings and stuff.
Yeah.
And in his case, it worked.
Yep.
And that other artists, unfortunately, you lose that one core member or whatever, and
They never get it
others
back.
can't get the footing as a solo act.
Right.
yeah.
And that's the unfortunate
Or
thing.
they can't really get that back.
I
in.
just don't appreciate like when a band like Thin Lizzy, there's no original member, and they're just like the band forms, and I know they probably have the blessing of whoever, and they go.
But
out
then
and
is it the band? It's
Perform
not, right?
Thin Lizzy,
Yeah.
stuff, Material, or Leonard Skinner, or
Yeah.
whatever. Right? There's no original, but they're still touring as
As them.
them,
And they're not them.
To me, like even with Quiet Riot,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, Rudy Sarzo, okay, bass player, he's come back, but he played after, right? So, but there's no original members.
Okay, what's a good example is the what's their names? Hold on. You keep talking. I'll find it.
But that's where the hard part, I think. Like if Queensryche went on tour and it was nobody, like no original members, and they just went out, they had the blessing of Queensryche, yeah, we're just going to carry on with you. Why?
Yeah, no. Like,
Just call them, this is the tribute band or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this Queensryche one is difficult because I would like the opportunity to experience the band live and to hear the songs that I grew up listening to live. So there is that draw to it, It's just, the core members that I appreciate in the band aren't there, and it's kind of an internal conflict with it because I am such a huge fan of Jeff Tate.
Yeah.
I don't want to kind of like give them money and almost, not that he knows who I am, but diminish his opinion of me kind of idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like
you feel
it's-
like you're being
unfaithful.
Yeah.
to your band that you
Or
like.
to the member that
the
I
member
like
that
or
you
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I was just thinking, Menudo. That is
Yeah.
actually singers, and they always change the singers.
Yeah.
But
my
that
gosh.
was the
That was the shtick, I
that
think.
was the
Yeah,
shtick
that was-
of them. That was
And how about the Ramones?
So there's nobody left.
A lot of them died, right?
Yeah, they all
but,
passed away. Yeah.
But they changed members quite a bit,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. There's
But I still love the Ramones. But I don't think, did the singer ever change though? Maybe that's
no.
why.
He's
Joey?
I think he was the
Joey.
last one to pass away too. I think.
Yeah.
But
That's probably why then.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because that seems to be the theme. It just makes sense when you can hear their voice, right?
it's such a it's a hard question to.
It almost
Answer.
seems like it's case by case basis.
It would be. It would.
Yeah,
I think it would be
definitely.
a case basis. Okay, you're talking hard question, and I forgot. I have this question that I got from Scarlett, and
Which has nothing to do
it has
with
absolutely
this.
nothing to do with this.
That's why I was like,
Okay.
why are you going to bring this up? Because it has nothing to do with anything. But go ahead.
I forgot about it, but okay. So obviously we know Darth Vader, right?
Yes.
And whenever Darth Vader falls around, he has the Imperial March
Yes.
or whatever that is, the music that you hear to him. Now, what if you took away the Imperial March? There is no wrong answer. This is your own personal feeling or whatever, but pretty much, what song would you have in your
his Imperial
mind
March.
for Darth Vader?
Yeah, instead of the Imperial March. Scarlett's
Wow.
is great. Scarlett's
Do
is
you,
like
do you
so
want to know what
good.
Scarlett's
Yeah,
one
I want
was?
to hear what Scarlett's
Is
first
it-
before I.
do you know it? Or
I can't remember right now, but I just remember it was great.
I asked her about it just to make sure or whatever, but hers was one, and that
Okay,
So
yeah.
you take the irony on it because pretty much got no arms, got no legs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, that's
Trapped in
really
myself.
good.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. I was actually thinking of Metallica.
Yeah. Well, because it's got to be something like, "Urgh."
Yeah.
I think you had one, didn't you?
Well,
I was almost thinking of Ryan or something like that.
I had two. It depends on your way that you're looking. Like taking the point when he comes onto the ship or whatever is bodies, and
Okay.
the bodies hit the floor.
yeah,
and
okay.
that one just as a joke.
Yeah.
The other one, when we were discussing this the other day, so unfortunately I've had more time to think about it than you did have, was Papa Roach Last Resort. And just making a joke at the suffocating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Orion would. Yeah, Orion, maybe. Sanitarium.
Ryan would be cool because it's obviously an instrumental or
Yeah.
whatever. So that one would be
What about
cool.
Four Horsemen or something?
Yeah, Four Horsemen would work.
But you could go totally off the wall, right?
Oh, you
Like,
could.
You could.
But for some reason, like Metallica came to mind.
Through the daisies.
That
for the tulips.
yeah.
Yeah.
would be good. Someone make that video. I want to watch that.
Oh,
What was the
Pantera, Walk.
There you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, see that video. Mine that I don't know why I couldn't get out of my head was Low.
Oh,
Really? That's funny.
I don't know why. I was just like, boots with the fur. Everyone's looking. So funny, but that's not what I picked. It kept on popping
Kept
into my head
popping
when
in
they
your
were talking about it. I was like, now I can't get it in my head. It's
see
just
the
a
Darth Vader twerking.
twerking. That's right. Heck yeah. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't even have. It could be anything, right?
I can't answer that.
Can't answer it. No, it's like what?
It's got to be a heavy song, right?
It does.
It does have to be
That's the
something
problem.
heavy.
It has
Yeah.
to be heavy. That's why I really
Something
like
heavy and
Scarlett's.
intimidating and
Yeah.
yeah.
Dark. Dubious.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie Sawdust on the Blood.
Yeah.
It's just an intro to one of his albums, but it has
No, Dragula. That's got to be Dragula.
couldn't even think of any Ray songs. So no,
You can't think of any Ray songs? You were in the band.
I know. Maybe Blinded.
Probably,
Blinded.
could be. I don't know. Right now, everyone's going, who is this band? What are the songs? Like,
What are they talking about?
Well, I've said the band that I was in. All right. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a toughie one because it's like what actually speaks of Darth Vader because that Imperial March is so
menacing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you do. You got to do something that's playing on those lower octaves and stuff, and just pretty much sends those chills through you. So it just something that just like, hits home with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
And I know that was completely unrelated to this topic. It's just obviously the child had mentioned it yesterday, and I'm just like, oh, we got to bring that up. We got to talk about that, because obviously the people out there and everywhere or whatever may not know how much of a Star Wars fan you are.
Yeah.
But like I said, the moment I heard that question, I thought of you, and it's like, oh yeah, I have to ask this question.
Now I got to think about this now.
And the thing is like, I can see the gears turning or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get
Slowly.
get a text at 2 in the morning going, this is what it should be.
This is the song.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I got to think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So
Yeah.
have we made a decision? Are we going to this concert? Or are we not going to this concert?
I know from him, it's a yes. I know from him, it's a yes. Like I said, it's a concert. I'm not going to refuse it.
You concert whore.
Okay, look at me, who like hadn't really gone to a lot of concerts, and then all of a sudden now I'm.
So you
See,
say.
I don't know, but you keep
Again,
saying that,
yeah.
and I hear episode after episode. Well, I've gone and saw this concert, and I've gone and saw this concert, and
Right.
I have what is it? I have not gone to nearly as many concerts as I've wanted to.
Well, we keep making the joke, or well, I don't know how many people actually have one of these because I don't know if they exist. But I said you've met your concert quota for the year. Maybe we actually have to have a concert quota for the year. Like, not just money wise, but like time wise. We should go see some of the things, right? Like,
How many concerts? Well, it's only 2 so far this year for me.
is that it?
Yeah.
This
year.
year.
This year. Have we only done 2 this year?
No.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
Hold on
It's
a
only
second.
May.
It's 3.
Well,
Sorry.
it's the end of
Sorry.
May.
Oh, that's
but
true. Fair enough. We got time.
3.
3. Okay, who've you seen?
Well, we saw Kim Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Kim.
Well,
Mitchell.
Last Tiger. And I forgot about Heart.
Okay,
So I saw-
Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
so Gray Hair. So Kim Mitchell was November. So
Oh, that's right.
theoretically,
Okay.
it is
Okay.
last year.
That's
So
right.
obviously,
Okay, so 2.
I've seen obviously Apocalyptica, Colin James, and we all saw Glass Tiger together.
So you
Kim
guys are
Mitchell.
3.
What?
You say Kim Mitchell?
Well, no, because Kim Mitchell was
was
November
last
of
year.
last
Right.
year.
It was last year, yeah.
So we've seen 3.
Yeah, you've seen 3.
Wow.
Now, going back to that November, I saw Kim Mitchell, and then a week after that, I saw Econoline Crush. But I don't go to
He
that
hasn't seen
many.
many. He's
you
only
don't go to
seen
that
2.
many. No. It's only 5.
And how many
in
do we have booked so
7
far?
months.
2.
2.
2 more.
So then we'll be at 5.
How many shows you've been to already this year?
How many concerts? Not shows.
Concerts.
Yeah.
Just the 1. Just Glass Tiger.
Just
Okay.
Glass Tiger.
Well, it's
I've
the
been to a lot of shows.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Junos was something different.
And
Yeah.
she didn't
Yeah.
pay for that because that was a present for her.
That was.
So we're
So,
talking
yeah, so
like
the
we're talking
Junos-
like what you've paid for yourself,
Yeah.
and like your quota on how much you're going to spend for the year and how many concerts you're going to see in a year. That's the
Yeah.
Don't know how many I'm going
I
to
know
see.
because when I said the joke, like, well, you've met your quota, and you're like, yeah, right, and I was like, wait a second, maybe we need a damn quota.
Yeah.
Well, how many did I see last year?
Too many.
So, to
saw
all the
Nickelback.
people out there who are like me, who enjoy going to
Leopards.
concerts, make sure you get yourself a significant other to rein in
Kim-
your concert going, because it
That
is
makes me sound like I'm a
You can't
tyrant.
set.
No,
You can't
no,
set.
you
things.
can't.
no, it would be very easy for me to be homeless living on the street just as long as I get to go to all the concerts I want to go to.
I was like,
But you
would
can't
believe
set a
it's
quota.
dry,
You can set a number of concerts you're going to go
or how
to.
much you're going to spend.
No,
You can't even set how
No.
much you're going because you don't
Well,
know
you
the ticket
You have
prices.
to.
You have
That's the
to-
first thing you have to do.
You
can't
have to
do
have a
that.
budget.
No.
Some kind of budget input. Okay, so see, this is where there's a
I'm gonna spend my
problem.
whole
I kinda-
paycheck, every
I kinda
paycheck on
know,
concerts.
I don't want to spend a lot on tickets, but it depends where you want to sit and what concert you're going to.
That's why I'm saying you should have a budget of how much you're going to spend in a year on seeing concerts.
See, the problem
Does
I
that
have...
include the summer nights concerts at the P&E? Because you could go to like 10 concerts in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, it could. You just have to budget for it. If
Right?
you budget for it, you can do it. That's what I'm saying. If you make your budget, okay, my budget for the
Save up
year
the whole
is
year
like-
for the P&E.
right.
See, all I'm hearing is my TFSA is not that important.
That is not what you're hearing. No, that is not what you're hearing. You trying to make me into a tyrant?
No. I'm just saying.
To rein you in and stop
Like,
you from spending money on
to
concerts.
to limit the amount and stuff gets very difficult because there
I want
is...
to go to this one and this one. And
Well,
this
that's
one.
just it. There's certain shows and you really want to go. I almost didn't go to Apocalypta. Glad I did. Obviously, they're coming back with Lizzie Sterling, and I want to see that one. And I haven't bought tickets to it
Yet.
yet.
Pardon?
Oh, now Lyle's tweaked. Shush! No.
Pardon?
Have you not seen that?
No.
I will show you
Oh
after.
dear Lord! See, this is why
Toast.
we need a budget.
Yeah.
We need a budget.
As I said, he would gladly live on the street.
He would. He said, because I said, you're gonna like, do you want to just go bankrupt with seeing concerts? He goes, it's very easy. I could. I was like, well, we're not going to let that happen. We will
That's
still
why
go
I
see
say
shows.
you need a responsible adult. I'm not old enough to be an adult.
You're older than me.
He's not the responsible one.
Okay,
You are.
First of all, I'm older than everyone here.
That's right.
But just because I'm older does not mean I'm responsible enough.
That's
you are
right.
responsible enough.
I am one of those people that I need an adultier adult.
Okay. I think there's been many things in your life you've been very responsible of. I don't think concerts should be at the bottom of the list of what you're responsible of.
I didn't kill my children, so that's a success.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, sorry.
back to the topic.
Yes. Did you?
So,
I mean,
yeah.
this was all part of the topic.
I know. But
Concerts. It's all about concerts.
I know.
It is.
I don't think,
Like,
well,
okay.
it depends. So that's all I'm going to say. It depends,
depends.
on, yeah.
Okay.
If we could monetize this podcast where I was paid in concert tickets, I would be the happiest person in the world.
Yeah,
That's how you make
then
money.
I like that.
Yeah. Go to every
like
single
that idea.
concert. There we go. Yeah.
Go get paid to go to concerts just to,
Concerts?
review, to review them.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I like that.
Meet the artists,
Yeah.
chat with them, and then
Yeah.
go from there. Yeah. I'd be good with that.
Let's do it.
That I'm okay with, because eventually that would just be in your job. You wouldn't have any like that would be an amazing job. Just doing that,
Yeah.
not your regular 9-to-5er. Oof. Yep. Let's do
Yep.
that. Get on that, Lyle.
Okay, I will. So the wheels are slowly starting to turn on that one too.
So start with all those phone calls that you want to. Get in touch with Lee Aaron, and then
Yeah,
just
I'll go from
snowball it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we going? Or are we letting the fans decide?
We'll let
Well, I
them decide.
thought the idea was to let the fans decide.
We'll let
but,
the fans
but,
decide.
But on the same token, we may turn off the mics and have a decision.
You may not be the deciding factor, but you can vote.
Yes, you can.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good. With
All
that,
right.
we will catch you on the B-side.
Thank you for joining us on the Music Roundtable. Please like and comment where you listen to the podcast. And make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter and let us know what you would like us to talk about. Until next time.